Sitting on your ball bag.
Sitting on my ball bags. How's that for levels? The old ball bag level check.
It's still kind of quiet, actually. You need to be louder with your
ball
bags.
need to be louder.
There you go. That's much better ball bags. Well done.
They're very loud ball bags.
Hello and welcome back to the How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. My name is Chip Thompson. This is Mr. MC.
That would be me.
I've noticed you've become Mr. MC quite a lot as well. So
Did you say that before?
I think I've said it at least once, so officially it's a thing.
Okay. If it happens once, it's a tradition.
This is episode 14, Pop-Up Part 2, which I'm sure has peaked quite a lot on the mics, just saying that one. What happened last time, MC? Sorry, Mr. MC. That's
stuff.
right, exactly.
Oh, yes. Okay, no. The actual improvement in your writing was the main thing. That
was
happened.
worrying, wasn't it?
I know,
I was
scared too.
scared.
So Chip is up to nefarious plans.
With his jewellery pop-up.
Yeah. MC... there was a situation involving a school bus and a vampire.
Yes.
He didn't really go into it beyond that, but I feel that's still fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff happening involving vampires and a school bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing, really.
Yeah, also, I mean, it's called Pop-Up, and you forgot the most important part of that as to why it's called Pop-Up. Jay got a pop-up on his computer to say, click here to become a millionaire, here's an address, come to this abandoned warehouse. And he's so determined to become rich so he can have sex with women again that he is blindly following... Sorry, you're right. He's blindly following this pop-up to its location.
Yes, well, Jay is a determined man.
He is, especially when it comes to sex and money. And either or both of these could be a setup from Chip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's crack on with it. This is episode 14, Pop-Up Part 2.
Previously on Tomorrow Gason.
Chip had been a busy boy, but for now, it was quiet time. The loud sounds coming from the ground floor of the warehouse were drowned out by the magic of the sun setting just behind the horizon of busy Tokyo.
How loud is the sun?
It's very loud. As it's going down, it just goes...
I found a way in which I can become a millionaire again! So are you going to tell us what this fantastic plan is then? I was looking on the internet for Slipknot memorabilia, and this pop-up came up saying, want to make a fortune? Then click here.
Oh no, he clicked onto the flashing pop-up and another window opened. The only information it gave was an address for people to go to if they wanted to learn the secrets of easy money making. Jay jotted it down onto a handy piece of paper. Okay, what is it? Louise could sense it was something bad.
Well, put vampire and school bus into the same sentence and see what conclusion you get.
The warehouse had little light, but Chip liked that. The light seemed to hurt his eyes at the moment. That's why he liked the setting sun so much. Yes, I knew I was going to try and bring that in the first sentence. A little callback last week, yeah. Although he never wanted to be a vampire, Chip felt like one at the moment. What with sleeping during the day and working at night. That's what they do at night, vampires, they work on the nighttime construction building site.
Of course,
yeah.
I'm a vampire and I'm okay, work all night and I sleep all day.
Putting preparations into evil schemes required a lot of work, and Chip wished he could have had an expensive factory like Jack and Lee did.
It wasn't a factory, it was a genetics office. Get it right, Chip.
He can't remember his own canon. They had resources and money. Chip had a crummy rundown warehouse and vampires. Oh, he's the 1% of evil people.
Pulling himself up by the bootstraps.
He watched the kidnapped technicians sweat furiously over their work. He and Scott had taken around 5 of them from the computer science department of one of Tokyo's universities. They knew that any slip-ups and they would die. In fact, Chip was pretty sure that Scott would kill them anyway, as he'd been complaining of his hunger lately. Do you think Chip stopped him from killing people?
Well, I mean, he did literally tell Scott to murder a child.
Yes, that's true. So probably not then.
It's possible. I mean, maybe Chip's struggling with this conscience. And...
Yeah. There's always been that slight hint, hasn't there, where he's like, he's definitely evil, but...
There's
a little thing there, maybe. Also, they've kidnapped technicians from a computer science department of Tokyo's universities. What could that mean, MC?
Could it somehow be related to the previous episode?
I think if you were going to make a fake pop-up,
Yeah,
you
would
would
definitely
need 5 computer science technicians. Chip left his brother to that job and went to go and check on Steph. He found her talking to a few members of her cult. Oh yeah, the cult of the Escobar.
Yeah. Didn't they all get killed? Or I guess they had more members around somewhere.
Yeah, I bet they're international, sure.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, not local.
Nice callback.
Thank you. He found her talking to a few members of her cult, passing on the instructions he had given her earlier. She gave Chip a nod and a smile. "Did you phone from an outside line?" he asked her. I'm sure I got that from some sort of like 90s action film or something like that, yeah.
That's how you hide from the cops. I know all about that.
Of course I did. It's all going to plan. Fantastic. I just hope it doesn't all get cocked up. I can't see anything going wrong, Steph replied, trying to read Chip's body language. I hope not. Chip walked towards the door and called out over his shoulder. I wouldn't want to stake any more members of your cult.
I was hoping for a little something between Chip and Steph. Cause
Well, she smiled at him, MC, and as you know, if a woman smiles at you, that means they're in love with you, so... So is Chip kind of forced Steph into this, or is he talking about the time when he killed members of the cult before? Because him and MC fought them in season 1.
Yeah, I don't know if he's kind of like Bond villain-esque of, killing lackeys when they fuck up kind of thing.
Yeah, if they used a phone line that wasn't outside.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I don't think Steph is super attached to other members of a cult.
No, I doubt that. Yeah.
So yeah, but I do want them to have sex.
You just want me to do the voices, don't you? Yeah.
And then I can write fanfic about it.
Jay pulled up to the address written on the piece of paper and double-checked just to be sure. MC was right. It did look like a rundown warehouse, but Jay was sure it would look better inside.
He's such an optimist.
I know, he's so determined, isn't he? It's funny what the promise of riches will do to someone. Mm-hmm. He walked up to what looked like the front door and knocked 3 times. A few seconds later, and a dark figure opened the door.
Hi.
Jay said,
I saw the advert on the internet.
Without saying anything, the figure stood aside and waved Jay in. Jay still couldn't see the person's face, but from the shape of the shadow, he was sure it was a man. I guess women and men do have different shadows?
Well, Jay was probably instantly looking for breasts. Couldn't see any.
Cautiously, Jay stepped in. He kept hearing MC's voice inside his head, but he continued to ignore the warnings.
And probably insults if he's hearing MC's voice inside his head.
Yeah, he's just taking those all in, taking them on board, you know. The warehouse was dark, and Jay couldn't make anything out in front of him. The door clunked closed, and Jay was in complete darkness. He swung round and tried to locate the man who had answered the door.
Hello?
He called out. There was no reply. Suddenly, bright lights filled Jay's eyes, blinding him momentarily. He put his hand across his face to block the light. As he slowly got used to his new surroundings, Jay noticed 2 people walking towards him. The closer they got, the more fear dwelled inside Jay, because he recognised them both. The first he noticed was a long-haired vampire, Scott, and to complete the family tree, Chip was the other.
It's a trap?
It's a trap! This is what the 5 computer science technicians were up to this whole time. They made a pop-up. Just goes to show how well Chip knows Jay, though, because he's like, right, if I put a pop-up that said free money, it's like you put a box with a stick, like, holding it up. Jay turned and bolted for the door, but blocking his way to the exit was the female vampire who had kidnapped Louise around 3 weeks ago. He tried to avoid her, but her pretty features quickly turned into the demon that possessed her. She growled and knocked Jay to the ground hard. Chip knelt beside him. You should know by now, Jay, not to take on girls. Scott yanked Jay up by his hair and dragged him away. This should be fun, Chip said as he watched his brother taking a kicking and screaming Jay away. Steph joined his side and touched his arm.
Score.
Oh, here we go. Can I play? She asked seductively.
Yes, nailed it.
I'm not sure I can do that voice in a seductive manner. Can I play?
You want a shag? Just lob it in.
Just lob it in, mate.
Yeah.
Can I play? She asked seductively.
It was a good effort.
That was better.
Yeah.
Maybe later, darling. This party's invitation only for the time being.
Ooh.
I don't think I've ever called anyone darling ever. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm pretty sure you called me darling.
But you are my darling.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what's he going to... What? They've got Jay now.
Do you think... Yeah, more importantly, do you think Chip and Steph have actually shacked up, or is he just playing her?
I don't think they have. I feel like we as an audience would have known that by now. I think so. The itch was beginning to get intolerable, but there was nothing Jay could do. His hands and feet were bound by solid steel cuffs, and he could move all of 3 inches.
That's all he needs. Oh, yeah.
He had no idea how long he'd been there, but it felt like hours. He hadn't seen Chip since being caught inside the warehouse, and Scott since he had tied him up. Jay remembered MC telling them about the torture Chip had put him through, including a child being killed in front of his eyes. We made reference to this earlier. Jay hoped he wasn't in for similar treatment. He was about to find out as Chip entered the room. "You nice and comfortable there?" Chip asked. Jay didn't want to give him any ammunition for cruel words and kept quiet.
That's what he's worried about. He might say mean things to him. Jay should be used to that by now.
Yeah, you'd think he would have some sort of systems in place to protect him from all the horrible words MC and Chip throw at him. Did MC tell you what I did to him when he was here?
Yeah. You pretty much tortured him. So, is that what you're going to do to me? Torture me for fun and then let me go so I remember that we shouldn't mess with you?
Not quite. Chip sat down on the chair in front of Jay. Definitely straddled it
Definitely thinking, I'm so cool.
I think he did that with MC as well. So it's like Chip's signature sit-down pose when he's trying to be intimidating. Oh, sorry, I messed up the line as well.
Yeah.
Not quiet.
I mean, that could have been intimidating.
Yeah.
Like saying that Jay's going to be loud with all the screaming and stuff, but instead, no, it's just a typo.
It's just a typo, yeah. Which is intimidating in itself. I'm going to intimidate you with poor grammar. Not quiet. Chip sat down on the chair in front of Jay. Yes, there will be torture and definite fun. I might even let my new friends have a go. Chip's sick smile faded as he brought his face close to Jay's. But don't get any disillusions, rat boy. You will not be leaving here with a breath in your body.
I feel like Rat Boy is the nastiest insult that Jay has had to suffer so far, actually.
Horrible,
it's
isn't it?
It's a nasty thing
really
to call
good,
someone.
Yeah. Fucking evil Chip.
I know.
At least when they used to insult him before, it was... No, it was still pretty bad.
No,
but it wasn't quite as bad as Rat Boy.
Yeah.
Chip reached into the drawer of the desk. There's a desk? Chip reached into the drawer of a desk and fished out some old, sweaty bandages that were white at one point, but were now a dark shade of grey. He wrapped them around his knuckles slowly, striking more tension and fear into Jay. From the ground floor of the warehouse, where Scott, Steph, and other members of the vampire cult were feasting on the computer technicians who were no longer needed, Jay's high-pitched moans and groans could be heard. So they've lured Jay into Chip's warehouse.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like a dummy one. He's actually said, "Here's my lair, come here."
Yeah,
He's told the guys where he is.
Yeah, but only Jay wrote down the address.
Yeah. Scott could smell the flesh blood coming from the room. He glanced over at Steph, who was biting down hard onto one man's neck, and said,
"Yes! Scott and Steph seen together. Yes!
Don't you love that smell?"
I don't think that was quite...
Scott's voice, we know, changes every time he says a word,
It's
so
true.
Shut up. She stopped drinking, and the man fell to the floor, lifeless. "I think I might go and join our boss," she said. "He ain't my boss," Scott protested. Steph just laughed. Are you enjoying the Scott and Steph interaction?
I am.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me. An infuriated Scott growled and showed no mercy to the last living university student, ended his life in one quick snap of the neck. Why is Scott angry?
Because he's... Steph thinks that Chip is in charge, but Scott doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
A bit of brotherhood, brotherly rivalry.
Yeah. Maybe Scott wants to...
Be the big dog.
Yes.
The big dog.
You did a really weird body language thing as you looked at me and said
I
that.
don't know how to be alpha, Chip. What do I flare my arms out? Like I've got big lats, right?
Yeah. You need to complain about vegan sausage rolls and how Disney is ruining Marvel with all these female lead films they're
Political
doing.
correctness gone mad.
Steph found a bloody and limp Jay, trying to find the words to make Chip stop his attack. Chip's bandages now were covered in claret. Yes! Back to claret! Yes! Chip's bandages now were covered in claret that had been released from the many cuts on Jay's head. Claret that had been released.
Oh my god. Doctor, quick! His claret is being released.
Am I the greatest writer ever? Chip waved Steph in. She lifted one of Chip's hands and licked the damp blood. I'm bored now, Chip said. Why don't you take over? You want me to keep him alive?
West
I
Country.
know, that wasn't right, was it? I'll do that again. You want me to keep him alive? Steph asked. Nah, not particularly. But before Steph could... oh my god. But before Steph could... Deicide?
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 Is that where you kill a god? Wow.
Wow, she's got some power. Wow, she's not going to kill Escobar, is she? Is that what the cult's been trying to do all along? They're the good guys.
Take his power.
Oh, it's all unravelling now because of one typo. But before Steph could decide what to do with Jay, loud crashing noises came from the ground floor. What's that? Steph asked, startled. Chip knew. It's MC. He said, his voice edged with anger. Maybe I need to edge that with a bit more anger.
A bit more anger.
It's MC. He said, his voice edged with anger. Was that better?
That was much more edged with anger.
Thank you. He took Jay out of his reins.
Was
he riding him around
the horse? Yeah. Punching him in the head the whole time.
Good Jay horsey. He took Jay out of his reins and carried him out of the room. MC and Tifa fought their way through the many vampires that attacked. MC noticed that Tifa showed no intimidation when fighting the undead. She really had adapted to the news of MC's life well.
It's the usual Buffy trope of person able to fight vampires.
Yeah. Normal human being, but she can fight vampires.
Yeah.
Tifa was holding her own against the vampire that attacked her, and eventually drove the wooden stake she held into the creature's non-beating heart.
Do you kind of want like Tifa Lockhart from the games that does this 10-minute materia?
Oh, yeah,
thing?
that would be amazing. I wonder, if I was clever, which I wasn't, and
yeah.
still am not, there would be a scene where she just runs up and like punches someone, like turn-based kind of battle or something like that.
Aww.
At the end of this fight, do you think it would go da 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 da? MC smiled at the happy look on Tifa's face.
I did it. What's up?
It's just she's happy that she's stabbing
A vampire.
vampires.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy?
Well, I mean, satisfied, right? Like, I mean, in the next, she's celebrating like her first kill of a vampire, I guess.
She popped her cherry, or his cherry,
exactly.
I guess.
I did it. Oh, wait. How do you do sexy and joyous at the same time? I am Tifa Lockhart.
I wouldn't know.
I did it. No, that doesn't work.
I think there's like almost like a slight surprise to it as well.
I did it. Yeah, no, I did.
Is that what you're going to go with,
Yeah,
that line?
why not?
Okay, great.
I killed one of those bastards. Lost it completely. Carry on. The only emotion Tifa is allowed is sultry sexiness, because that's the only one I can do in her voice.
Did you know that How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer was not brought to you by professional actors?
I did it.
She said joyously.
I killed one of those bastards.
That's better, that was good.
Okay.
But before she could celebrate too much, another vamp jumped her. MC continued to battle two vampires and staked one. Just before he killed the other, he heard a familiar voice call out to him from above. I wouldn't do that if I was you. It was Chip.
And why not you? That's literally what it says. And why not you? Why not you?
MC wanted to say something witty and intelligent, but nothing came to mind.
Clearly.
Yeah. Because if you kill one of my lot, I'll be forced to kill one of yours. Chip shoved Jay in front of him. MC wanted to sprint across the 50 or so feet that separated him and Chip and tear his former friend a new nutsack. But he knew that Jay would be dead before he got there.
What? How does your nutsack work?
How do you tear at someone a new nutsack? Do you is it like a shedding the skin of a snake? You pull one off and one instantly grows back?
So, how do you want to play this then?
MC asked. Well, first of all, I'd like to know how you managed to find out my dastardly plan.
A friend of mine, Louise, you remember her, right?
Let me think. Blonde, moaning, falls down the stairs a bit easy. Ooh, savage.
He's a bit of a dick, isn't he?
Yeah, blimey. Ooh.
That's the one.
MC's very casual about that, Marok.
Anyway, she got a visit from a dead guy that we know, warned her that Jay was in trouble. So she phoned me and the detective here.
Oh, shouldn't have gone. It took me way longer to figure that out.
I mean, it's the sole source of information that they have.
Yeah. But we hasn't seen him for a little while.
Oh, he was finding it difficult to appear in the world.
For some reason.
Yeah, because he's shit.
Yeah. He's just out drinking all the time now, so he's very unreliable. Okay, Stumpy. So you found out that your little friend here was in trouble. How did you find the warehouse?
That part was easy.
Tifa pitched in.
We just traced the call I received earlier.
Chip thought that over.
A
little callback to part one. Yeah.
So now that you know, tennis ball head, are we going to fight?
Oh, Chip shaved his head.
Oh, okay. That's still like...
It's a terrible insult. That's not a known thing for someone who's got a shaved head, is it?
I guess like you got the little bits of fluff.
But unless he's dyed his hair and face green with a little white line that swivels around it.
Disguise again.
It's not MC's best. Chip is all like, yeah, how was your friend that I pushed downstairs? And
Nobody
Chip's
can
like,
concentrate because his face is bright green.
If only MC had a racket.
So now that you know, tennis ball head, are we going to fight?
Maybe it's a Hey Arnold reference. Sorry to interrupt again.
Oh,
but
like football head.
Football head. Does that mean you love me?
Am I the one with the unibrow?
Yes. We could do. Chip replied. But I've got a better idea. He reached for the small handgun that was in his back pocket and put it to Jay's head. We could all die. It's not much of a better idea, is it, Chip, really? Like, let's be honest, that's not... As far as plans go...
Let's put that on plan B.
MC watched Chip, knowing he was in an unstable frame of mind at the moment. He didn't want to jeopardise the lives of his friend or his girlfriend.
Okay, Chip. What do you want? What do you want?
Well, I'd really like you to hand over that cute policewoman and let me give her a good seeing to.
Oh, here we go.
We're back. Well, I'd really like you to hand over that cute policewoman and let me give her a good scene to. Just skip over that really quickly. But I wouldn't want to show you up, mate. After all, you know what they say. One-handed ginger people are not as sexy as normal guys.
I'm sick of this stereotype.
I think there was just a point where I gave up with the conversation and the sort of like
Tennis
witty
ball
back
heads,
and forth. Yeah,
one-handed ginger people.
Scene 2.
Yeah.
Ugh. And let's not forget, this episode started with all that sort of poetic sun setting and stuff. And
oh man, maybe... Okay, so you had like a brief half hour when you were a slightly better writer and then it all...
Yeah, it returned to normal. MC's anger grew like a bushfire. Chip continued. But failing that, I'd like to test your reflexes, Mr. MC.
Oh my god!
It's all come full circle again.
Oh my god, are you actually evil Chip?
Does my head look like a tennis ball?
No, oh thank god.
My god. Got worried then. But what's all this jewellery that I've got here?
What are you on about?
Without saying another word, Chip pushed Jay off the first floor and sent him crashing down. MC, not even taking the time to think about what just happened, dashed across the warehouse floor. He saw his friend falling and he didn't have long to make it. MC was about 6 feet away from the falling Jay when he was just about to hit the floor, and with one almighty dive, MC broke Jay's fall with his own body. Would that save him? Would that just hurt you in the process?
Ninja stuff.
Oh, ninjas have spongy bodies.
Exactly.
He hit it, it went boing, and flew back up to the top floor. He was sure, despite Jay's relatively small size, that he'd cracked a couple of ribs. Still, he found the strength to stand and pick Jay up as well. Tifa came over to help them both walk. Guess you didn't find your fortune here after all, hey Jay? Chip smirked. He's got an insult for everyone, hasn't he? He's put them all down verbally.
Getting kind of annoying, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
He's such a dick.
He is a dick. He is a massive dick. He's not just enough with the torture and being evil.
Yeah, he's trying too hard.
Yeah,
You know, you
he
can
is.
Imagine him thinking up all the insults and the lines and stuff beforehand, writing them down.
Yeah. He's a schoolyard bully, isn't he? That's what he is right now.
Yes, perfect, yeah.
Before, he was killing kids in front of MC.
Yeah.
And then saying, like, I'm going to let you live, so you have to remember this. Now he's like, oh, you're stupid, mate. What a div. The trio walked back down the warehouse and almost made it out when Chip jumped down from the first floor, landing easily onto his feet. You know, I wanted to let you go because I had so many great plans for you, but seeing as I haven't actually killed any of you yet, He didn't finish. Instead, he started to run towards MCJ and Tifa.
Take him.
Tifa said.
What?
MC asked, obviously in pain.
You're in no fit state to fight. Take Jay and start the car.
Are they having this conversation while Chip is running towards them? No, but I'm just staying help.
Slowly. Take your time, guys. It's fine.
Before MC had the chance to argue, Tifa showed him her plan. He smiled and continued to carry Jay and himself out of the warehouse.
Like, did she have it written down?
It's like a manual. Yeah, how to take down Chip, part 1. She wrote it after he kicked her in the back and she was unsure whether he was evil or not. Now she's got this Chip is evil plan. When Chip was in range, because apparently the warehouse is 400 meters long or something, Tifa reached for her gun and fired. Chip hit the ground. Tifa ran behind MC and Jay and they got away. None of the vampires fancied being shot and let them go without a fight.
Okay. A gun. The only thing I hadn't anticipated.
You know that bit in Indiana Jones when he's fighting the guy with the sword and he just pulls out the gun and shoots the guy? I feel like more time could have been saved if they'd just done that.
Yeah.
If, Chip's like, right, I'm going to kill you now. And then she's like, oh no. And Chip's like, hey, wait. Look at this. You see this? It's a gun. What I'm going to do is, right, you run away. And then when he gets a bit closer, I'm going to pull my gun out because he doesn't know I've got a gun. And when he's just about to get to you, I'll pull it out, right? And I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to shoot him. And it'll be really great. And then we get away. And they're like, yeah, it's a great plan, Tifa. Wow, well done. I'm glad you thought of that. And that's exactly what happened. She pulled it off without a hitch. Well done, Tifa Lockhart.
Perfect.
Tokyo's best detective, everyone.
Not so stupid after all. I think her plan, though, is like metal shoot, bang.
Back inside the mansion, and Jay was starting to recover. His face had lumps, cuts, and bruises all over. But at least he had stopped shaking. None of that Clara is falling out of him now. MC left him alone in his room and went downstairs to join Tifa and Louise. How's he doing? Louise asked.
Not good. He still can't talk.
That's probably the shock.
Tifa said.
No.
MC replied.
It's because of the number Chip did on his jaw.
The three sat in silence. All were worried about what Make Chip might try next.
Tifa, did you write that?
Chip, make plan, no shoot this time. So, what do we do now? Louise wanted to know.
That's simple. Next time Chip tries to hurt any of you guys, he's dead.
MC's tone was ice cold.
I might have taken care of that already.
Tifa offered. MC thought different. See, I was going to say, surely Tifa should just kill Chip then because she had a gun.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
But
I mean, to be fair, that happened in Buffy a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a ninja, so he can recover from bullets, obviously. Scott reached into the wound and fished out the last bullet. Chip yelled in pain. When Tifa had taken aim at him, Chip had spun and taken the full front of the shots with his arm and shoulder. Ninjas healed pretty quickly, but it still hurt like hell. There we are, an explanation.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
And it was exactly almost what I said as well. Ninja.
Bullets stop when they go half an inch into you.
I guess, I don't know, if she's got a handgun.
Yeah, I think it would go through you.
But, I think you'll be alright. I only face a ninja.
Ninjas are bulletproof, it's fine.
There you go, bro, Scott said as he clipped the end of the bandage together. Where's Steph? Chip asked. I'm here.
That's her, chastened voice, she's feeling kind of embarrassed.
I'm here, the vampire said, stepping forward to where Chip was laying. He stood up and put his hand on her shoulder. You didn't phone from an outside line, did you? Chip said. Steph shook her head and went to apologise, but Chip stopped her. There's no need to say you're sorry. I know you are. And I want you to know that I don't blame you. Chip let the wooden stake hidden up his sleeve slide into his hand, and he shoved it into Steph's stomach, piercing her intestines.
Mm-hmm.
If I blamed you, that stake would have been in your dead heart. Just remember that. Chip left Steph writhing on the floor, blood leaking out of her belly.
So do you think they're broken up?
No, this is a date.
Okay, right.
This is Chip courting her.
I like how Chip is doing a fantastic job of alienating all of the people working for him.
Well, no, he's a sort of treat him mean, keep him keen kind of boss,
sure,
isn't he?
Sure.
But not Scott's boss, obviously. Although he did kill all of his computer science technician interns, so
yeah.
But that's the end. That's the end of episode 14, Pop-Up.
So, thoughts?
Thoughts and lots of thoughts and lots of feelings, MC. It's a fairly action-packed episode, really, wasn't it?
It was.
I know we're just comparing it to the last one, which was shite.
Yeah.
But there was subplots, there was main plots, there was plots everywhere. There was really bad insults.
No mention of the school bus thing. I wonder if that was a decoy?
Oh yeah, it must have been, and a really dumb one.
Yeah, but because they traced the call that Tifa got, which was about the school bus with the vampire. So at some point, off screen, they figured out
Steph phoned Tifa to say
there's a vampire on a school bus.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be a vampire on a school bus. You better fucking go and sort it out, you mug.
But somewhere along the way, they figured out. Oh, Shinna-Khan appeared and said Jay's in danger.
Oh, so maybe Shinna-Khan was like, "There's no vampire on a school bus." By the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really handy having him around like that, but also really annoying because he could have came earlier and said.
It would have been useful.
Yeah. Lots going on.
Yeah.
Chip was nearly killed by Tifa. Tifa's like, I like that Tifa's become a main character now.
Yeah, she's taking care of business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
She
she's
shot
badass.
a ninja, even though he's bulletproof. But she had a really over-elaborate plan to shoot someone. And Chip did hint that there were more plans.
He did.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see. Should we see what the next episode is called?
Let's do that. Although, I mean, Chip's plan was like, get shot. So...
That wasn't part of his plan.
No.
He didn't know Tifa was going to have this thing prepared called a gun.
Even though she's a police detective that she knows carries around a gun.
But he knows Tifa quite well. She's like, she'll never figure this out. She'll never know what to do. Anyway, the next episode, episode 15, is called Love and Hate. That's gonna. Oh, I reckon that's gonna be.
Right.
I reckon that's gonna be a sort of like a comparison between the relationships of MC and Tifa and Chip and Steph.
Nice.
Yeah. And I really hope we get some more crazy insults.
Tennis ball head.
Stumpy.